Oh my god. Making this most recent legendary has been such a nightmare. I can't even tell you. So, technically, I started assembly of this legendary in, was it May or June of 2020? And I followed the same pattern. It's a second generation legendary. I followed the same pattern. I built up more than a decent amount of resources, whatever it is. And I actually got down to the last component. Now, I needed to collect however many mystic clovers. Now, you get those over time. You collect those over time. You know, it's participation, it's a login reward, it's stuff like that. But for this third legendary that I'm now crafting, I didn't have enough. So I went to the Mystic Forge, and I made a terrible, terrible mistake. So, in order to make Mystic Clovers, you need so many Obsidian Shards, so many Globs of Ectoplasm, so many Mystic Coins, and then you get one of two choices. You can either get Mystic Crystals, or you can get Philosopher's Stones. It depends on which way you want to go. If you get Philosopher's Stones, then every time you do a roll in the Mystic Forge, you will get one random drop, or you'll get a Mystic Clover specifically, because that's what you're aiming for. The alternative is that if you use Mystic Clovers in the recipe, and you know you have so many that you have to stick in there, well then instead of getting one of that item, you will get 10 of that same item in one roll. So I thought to myself, oh well, I'll get 10 clovers at a time instead of just one at a time. You know, it'll take me a lot less time to roll those clovers. Well, that was my huge mistake. Huge mistake. Because, I rolled. Now, I've since built up the necessary amount of Mystic Clovers to finish this particular legendary, but at the time I didn't have enough, and I'm like, it'll be no big deal. Well, it turns out that I used up count them all, of my Mystic Coins. And you kind of need Mystic Coins as well. You need a whole stack of Mystic Coins in order to complete a second generation legendary. And I was not thinking at the time, and so I just spent coins and spent coins and spent coins, and eventually I ran out. I eventually got, was it 77 Mystic Clovers, I think, is what you need to get, something like that. Eventually, yes, I did get the Mystic Clovers I needed, and now you'll see that after the fact, I now have excess Mystic Clovers. But I had run out of Mystic Coins. Oh god, don't sell. That is not what I want. One Mystic Coin. This actually fluctuates. It fluctuates between 1 gold, 60 silver, and 1 gold. Actually, it's not going up to. One day it went up to 1 gold, 90 silver. So it fluctuates. So basically, if you want to get one Mystic Coin, plan on spending 2 gold, even though it's not actually 2 gold. Just think of it in terms of 2 gold per coin. So you can imagine having to buy an entire stack of them is almost 450 gold, which I very much did not have. So here I am in June or July. Yeah, it was June. It was like mid-June or something like that. And I used up all of my Mystic Coins in this recipe. What I should have done, what I did do with the legendary Greatsword Exordium, is I used up Philosopher's Stones, which means you roll one per. It's one coin, or it's one drop per use of the Mystic thingy. But I didn't do that. Instead, this time around, I rolled 10 drops per single roll of the Mystic Forge. And that was my mistake. That was my huge mistake. And for the last 3 or 4 months, yeah, at this point it's been 4 months. I have had all the components I needed for 4 months now. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3. Where are they? Sorry about that. I confused myself so for a moment there. So I had to double check. It's like, wait, am I really done, or do I have? It's like, yeah, I am done. So for anyways, since June or July 2020, I have had the precursor, the Gift of the Blade, the Gift of Maguma Mastery, which is not easy to do. Of the second generation ones, Gift of Maguma Mastery is easy to do. It's easy. Don't even think about it. That's usually the first thing I get done. Well, either that or the precursor, depends on how you do it. Anyways, and so now I'm going to be making the, what's it called? The Mystic Tribute is what I'm going to be making, which requires, 77 of these, stack of these, and I think it requires some of these or something like that. But anyways, at the time, I was trying to make Mystic Clovers, and I accidentally was not keeping track, and I used up all my Mystic coins. And so now here it is, all of July, all of August, all of September, more than half of October. I've been just patiently killing time trying to get Mystic coins, while at the same time also buying up Mystic coins from the trading company. And you can see here I bought one recently. Oh, this has just changed in the last few minutes. It was at 176 or 178, something like that. Now it's up to 180. So anyways, yeah, and that tells you right there. It also, depends on get your sales rather good. But as it turns out, that's I've been so technically my very first legendary, which was Ferris, Longbow Ferris, that took 6 months or 7 months, something along those lines. And then my second one, which I completed in summer of 2019. And then beginning of beginning of 2020, which would be January, it was either January or early February. It was early February, I think. I completed my second legendary, which was the Greatsword Exordium, which I still have, which I still use frequently. And so now I'm going in for my third legendary, but I was significantly delayed because of this Mystic Coin snafu. So instead of taking 5 or 6 months like it previously had, and also the entire time, yes, I've also been refining. Now, I've already used up all of the Elderwood planks and Mithril ingots for this next legendary. I've already done. So this is actually the stockpile for the next legendary, which I have not decided on because, well, I'm in the process of crafting my third one. So this is the what-if scenario. The other thing I did is I miscounted how many Elderwood planks and Mithril ore I needed to make a legendary. I thought it was 10,000 each for some reason. Going into my third legendary, I should know better by now. But I only produced 10,000 ingots and planks, when in fact I should have had 31,000 and 35,000. Or was it 38,000? It's some ungodly amount. So technically, my third legendary, the Shining Blade, took, let me think, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It took 8 months to complete. So, I mean, it wasn't difficult for the most part, because you do one legendary weapon, you kind of done them all. But just, jeez, this Mystic Coin thing's just been killing me. I swear to you, folks, my coinage has not gone over like 42 or 43. But Halloween came along. No, my costume. Why? Halloween came along. Oops. So, Halloween came along. Why am I not talking? What's going on? I'm not emoting. Because the goddamn game crashed. Why not? That's the 4th time inside of an hour that my game has crashed. I don't know why. It just is. Alright, no more playing around. So yeah, anyways, it was a pain in the ass to get to Mystic Clovers because I was being impatient, and then I got too impatient and I lost all my Mystic coins, and I've spent the last 3.5 months getting more of the max, so that's over. Can I do this from down here? Yeah, Those was it condensed essence of whatever it is. Those are still a pain in the ass to get. Although I played it smart this time, and I actually crafted those first, and then I bought. I did have to buy some more of the materials to make the other things, but. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm making the Shining Blade, in case you didn't know. Let's see. So, here's the first exotic you make. Actually, it looks nice, whatever. The exotics and the precursors usually look nice by themselves. This is a bit more fancy schmancy. That's nice. Actual precursor. Starts getting some actual color involved. So the final legendary will be this, except with a bit more shining. So. Boom! That's right, folks. It took me 8 months. Here it is. You know, going through the third time, this wasn't nearly as quick as I did with Exordium. Let's see, at this point it would be 10 months ago when I did Exordium, because like with Exordium, I had all the materials I needed, but actually crafting the thing with time gates and stuff built in was only about 5 weeks, so it felt really weird. Oh yeah, I was talking to this guy earlier. He had his Exordium like 20 minutes ago or something like that, so I don't make any shining. And I told him I would, so there it is. With Exordium, it took me only 5 weeks to actually craft the thing. From having all materials to finally making the thing was 5 weeks. It was very quick, and you can see my video on that one. With Shining Blade, it will be by far the longest that I've ever taken to make a legendary. Although I have been eyeing legendary armor. The specific type of skin of armor that I'd like to get is in raids, and I've been in one raid ever. So the chances of me getting it are slim to none, because even 5.5 years after starting the game, I know next to nothing about raids. As far as I'm concerned, they're just kind of glorified dungeons, except you actually have to play with a meta, as opposed to just kind of like you would through dungeons or through, what are they called, fractals. But anyways, enough about that. 1, 2, 3, Mystic Forge.
Quite a reward.
Ta-da! I figure what happens when we get to the end. Okay. There it is. 3 or 4. Okay. And my first single-handed legendary, by the way. Now, as a result of that, it's only going to have 3 skills attached to it, because it's either 3 or 2 skills. It's not a 5-skill weapon, obviously, because it's a standard sword. So. Oops. It's got a strange shield, but there's the sword sitting right there. Caesar, shall we put this one to bed? Why are you looking over there? Let's put this to bed. There you go. He's got a glowy hand, and he's got the Shining Blade. Yeah. It's weird. I almost feel less enthusiastic for this one than I do than I did with Exordium. With Exordium, I was like, oh, it's only been 5 weeks. This is weird. And now I'm just like, okay, I made a legendary. It's probably because, like, the rush of actually making the legendary has been gone at this point. So, yep, that's a pretty shiny blade. I don't think I can get any closer.
Darn apples. Boo! Haha! Gotcha! Happy Halloween! Spent all week decorating the house.
Shining blade. I think the Shining Blade is like a special secret order of the... Oh, what are they called? Oh no, Shining Blade is like the Queen's Bodyguards or something like that. It was part of Living World Season 4 or 3. I think it was Season 4. Oh, it shrinks down! Oh, cool! I didn't know that. I didn't think there was any animation attached to it. Can I get any... Let's see, let me hide that shield. Of course, Guardians have an arm shield. Okay, whatever. Anyways. Oh, it does shrink down. It's not the typical thing where it shrinks down just because it's in storage, depending on which character you're using or which race you're using. That's not it. Like, the blade actually is extending and expanding itself. That I didn't know. So that's why there's that extra little bit of sound effect where you can actually hear metal sliding up against each other. I didn't know that it did that. I wonder if it does it to go in the other direction. Good place to do it. Let's try. Yeah, it does kind of compact itself down. Huh, so it's almost like a... I want to say kind of like a predecessor to Exordium, because Exordium does the same thing. Well, no, actually, Exordium doesn't shrink or grow in size, but it does change shape with each attack that you do with it. So it's kind of like Shining Blade. Shining Blade actually kind of feels like a Order of Whispers kind of weapon, because, you know, those things, they kind of collapse down a little bit when you put them into storage. Control-Shift-H. There we go. There we go. That's what I just got to remember that. That's cool. I didn't know it shrank down like that. Truly a shining blade. Although, disappointingly, obviously the footsteps are going to glow. Those are way better footsteps than Ferris. Ferris has really disappointing footsteps. It's just kind of like a crack in the ground, and there's a little bit of glowy that comes out of it, but that's it. But these are actually prominent, like you can actually see what it's doing. That's disappointing. Huh. Alright. Control-Shift-H. Cool. Alright, so let's see what happens. And just a reminder, Exordium is an exception in that it changes shape when it attacks, and it has a unique attack animation for just about every single skill that a character that wields a greatsword can have. So the Shining Blade is not the same thing. It's just going to look pretty, but it's not going to actually like do anything. Oops, I forgot what does that do. I don't use Guardian sword main hand, so I don't know what this does. I knew if it was create a symbol at your feet that damages you. I have no idea. What's this? Oh! I didn't know it did that. That's kind of cool. He usually uses greatswords, so I don't know what all this does.
Infuriate!
Oh! I saw that just as he did it. Wasn't looking. Looks like the blade, shining blade, actually travels. It's not just like a ghostly, generic-looking sword, but it's actually a. I think it's the shining blade itself that does the traveling. Oh yeah, he is throwing the shining blade itself. Cool. I thought it was a generic blade that he was throwing. Also, note, not a lightsaber. It's just the edges of the sword that glow. It's not the actual blade itself. You know, I might stick this on my Revenant. I haven't quite decided yet who's going to wield this. I've had an idea for a new character for, well, at this point, over a year. I've been thinking about making a new character, but I haven't done it yet, so there's no reason for me to bring it up. Let's see, what am I looking at? Looking at this. Okay, look at it. Nope, that's not it. Shield. Let's see here. Customize. Here we go. Damage versus outlaws and +3 damage. Well, I'm gonna get rid of that first chance I get. And of course, because you can attach it to any character, most of my characters are berserkers, so I'm gonna set that to berserker. Let's see, can I take that off? Okay, well, okay, so I'm gonna set it to berserker. And now it is automatically berserker. But if I wish to change it on the fly, I can. What's this? Select the checklist to place these stats to all equipped weapons. Oh, that's interesting. We can do precision ferocity. Although the one that I've been only recently introduced to, well, yeah, right, recently introduced to, diviners is kind of interesting because you can get some good boons out of your concentration. What's the other? Marauder, that was the other one I was introduced to. If you sacrifice a little bit of power and precision, you can get some vitality. So Marauder is looking a little more appealing nowadays. I think my Thief is Marauder. I don't remember. Anyways, yeah. So you set to that, press accept, and then the stats are, you can see right there, power, precision, vitality, ferocity. But for now, I will run it there. Okay, so I took that off. So Superior Sigil of Justice, which comes with it. Element of Pain. What? Let me sell that, see what I can get for this. Worth it. Let's see, Superior Sigil of Justice. Let's see. Steal a foe's health upon landing a critical. That's not bad. Let's see what the expensive ones are. Carcass slaying? Are you serious? Oh my god. 5 condition damage. You know, the thing is, I don't really know who I'm going to put this on. That's not bad. Essential force. Let's do that. 4 gold, that's okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because my game crashed right when I was talking about. The reason why I was able to accelerate the process of buying up Mystic Coins, because what I was doing is, you know, I was getting them through was it the login reward or whatever it is. You can see today, actually, I got another bag of Mystic Coins. You know, that's only a couple here, a couple here, a couple here, a couple here, and then you can also get a choice in the chest of loyalty. You can get some more. I think you can get Mystic Coins there. I don't remember. But anyways, you have, you know, just these, you know, once a week roughly, once once every 7 days you can get another bag of mystic coins. So that's what I was doing previously, and then on top of that, I was also buying a mystic coin, one mystic coin every time I completed my dailies. So so it was that. But then, because this is Halloween we're talking about, I discovered the joys of.
Welcome.
No, I discovered the joys of selling those bags, the Halloween bags or whatever it is that you collect when you're inside of the Labyrinth or whatever it is. And so, oh, there we go, right there. There's an exordium right there. So that's the one that I completed 10 months ago, or was it 8 months ago? I guess it was 8 months ago at this point. So compared to my puny little. It's very little just because of Sura. But anyways, I discovered you could sell those Halloween bags that I was getting from the Mad King's Labyrinth. And I had like 2,000 of them just because farming happens. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if I sold a stack of them. Because like, I don't do... what's it called? I don't do foods. I don't bother with foods. So... I'd like to participate. I don't bother with foods. So, like, like, all the candy corn and all the other things that are in there, like, even if I have them in front of me, like, I'll usually depend on if, like, somebody else sets down foods and then I'm like, oh, yeah, food exists in this game. But what I was doing instead is I was wandering through, here, which is only available, obviously, during Halloween. And I had over 2,000 of these things stockpiled in this one in the one character that I do usually bring in here. And I'm like, okay, what does selling one do? Well, it gets you 9.5 gold. So I decided to sell all 2,000 of those Halloween bags or whatever they're called, and I got.
I forgot how much your little tantrums bored me.
It's Edric. Edric the Bloody! Let's see how bored you'll be when I tear you limb from limb, you maniac!
Ooh, getting all emotional, I see. Why don't you run home to Mama and cry?
I can't. You beheaded her.
Best birthday ever. What about your stepmother, Estrella?
I'm going to be so distracted with these two just because I love the back and forth between them. It's great.
You killed her too.
Anyways, so I sold all 2,000 of these things, and I got 90 plus gold out of it. And so I immediately bought up the last, was it 19 or so Mystic Coins, and then I completed it, so yay for me.
Her hands to the grate!
Stop laughing. I did that?
You know, this is so off topic, but ArenaNet, dear God, I wish you'd had Mad King Thorn go up against Palawa Joko. What is wrong with you? Why did you not do this? I just, you had the opportunity, and just... Okay, so yeah, anyway, Shining Blade. Completely distracted, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's the story of how I the Shining Blade. There wasn't really much to it that I can remember in terms of other materials that I needed to get and didn't have enough of. It occurred to me I was just about to close this out, and I'm like, maybe I should show off what the Shining Blade looks like in action rather than just talking, and calling it good. Doesn't help if you can't see it. course, he died just as I hit that. I don't use Guardian Sword very often, so it's like, which button do I hit? But before I do that, is this it? Yeah. Attach this to the Shining Blade. Do I have it? Yep, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to take care of that before I... Oops. Yeah, here they are. Trick-or-treat bags. These are the things. Because, like, if you buy more off the trading post, this is what I used to get the last ones. Oh, it's actually increased in cost in the last few days. It was down to, like, 3 silver, 50 copper, but now it's up to 4. Wow, so they've actually gone up in cost. Wow, I could have had a lot more gold if I just waited a couple more days. Oh, well. Anyways, yeah, that's how I got the last of my whatchamacallits. The thing I mentioned earlier about wanting to make another character is that I want to make a character that's dual wielding swords, and currently I'm not doing that. So like Revenant can dual wield, Warrior can dual wield, and Mesmer can dual wield swords. But I've got one of each, and quite frankly, Revenant sword offhand is kind of the same as sword main hand. It's kind of this, no, I'm sorry, it's the same as the Revenant axe offhand. So it's like, why should I even bother? So, but anyways, equipment main. Let's take this in offhand. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep this in offhand. So now a human has possession of. Does it still shrink down? What's that command? There we go. Oh, actually, I might be able to get a better angle of it, putting it away. Kind of. Oh yeah, it really shrinks down. Wow, I didn't notice that before. Oh, I know. So when it deploys, when you deploy the weapon, it pops open. It's like as you're reaching your hand out, the sword is already deploying. But when you put it away, it takes time to shrink down. That's cool. I like that. Oh, it is quite hollow. I didn't realize that. When you look at the preview pictures, it doesn't. You know, you've got the lighting effect on it. So wow, it's actually really thin. I didn't know that. So that's why it collapses down so easily.
No, our shinies. Bad men took them. Help! Get our shinies back.
So aggressive reference. Love it. You must have an enemy targeted. Come here, enemy.
Strong.
It's been a while since I used Revenant, so I'm a bit rusty right now. That is so fast that even I can't see what it is. I like the sound of it too. It's, I hesitate to say it's a metallic whoosh because, well, sword, but that said. Now, I'm going to put it on the other side. Offhand. Sigil of blood, sigil of strength. Oh, cool. Don't have to worry about that. Okay. Dual wielding swords. See, this is what I want to do. What I'd like to do is whichever character I get next, I would. Ooh, that was actually a good angle. I'm sorry. That was a good angle. Neat. Huh. Let's see. So anyways, what I want to do is have whatever character have dual wielding Shining Blade. Now obviously one of them, since this is a second generation legendary, you can only ever craft one. So from what I've heard, you could go through the process of making another one, but when you put it into the Mystic Forge, it would not give you a second one. So you know, obviously it would have to, and don't forget. See, I think these are both the same. Power, precision, ferocity, power. Okay, look at the stats right here. This is a ascended sword, and then this is a legendary sword. You know, power, precision, ferocity, 125 and 90. Power, precision, ferocity, 125, 90. So they're exactly the same. And weapon strength, 950 over 950 to 1050. 950 to 1050. So the amount of damage, the strength, and the bonus that it gives you, that a legendary gives you, is identical to the equivalent weapon, to the equivalent ascended weapon. So it's not, and I've discussed this before, but I'll go over it again here real quick. It's not about, I mean, the skin is the main reason why I get it, because they look pretty, whatever. But a lot of other people, you don't get them for the stats. You get them for things like being able to swap your weapon. Wait, is that true? No, I'm sorry. You get it for the ability to customize them. Being able to swap these things at will, being able to remove sigils and remove infusions without having to get a special tool, without having to lose them, you know, without having to delete those things when you remove them or swap them for something else. You can actually take them out. Let's see, can I? How do I do this? You right click, and so he currently has the superior sigil of strength, so I'll take it off.
Nice gear.
There it is. And you notice it's not equipped. Now I'll just take it, put it right back on. Customize. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I have to... Oh, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay. And you'll see there, Superior Sigil Strength has been added back to that same weapon. So that's one of the advantages, is you have a lot more customizing options. That's one of the reasons, that's one of the big reasons why legendaries are valued so much. It's not just their appearance, and it's not just the marathon of going through it.
Strong.
Yes, let's get these shiners back home.
Just gonna wait for those to recharge. Actually, I'm gonna wait for them to recharge. Why am I here? Because this makes for an excellent silver. That's right.
Kill rising.
Nah, they changed it. They changed it. This is usually silver or iron. Changed it to a rich candy corn ring. Cool. Not that I'm going to use it for anything. Really? There's usually another one up here. Come on. Oh, I was wrong. I must have done that already. It's weird every time he transitions.
Strong.
God, I'm hitting them so hard they just die instantly. Huh? I'm trying to show off skills 4 and 5, and I'm doing a very poor job of it. Of course, I am in a lower level area, so things will tend to die. And this guy is equipped with Ascended and a Legendary, so yes. I think I started saying it earlier, I'd like to have a character that dual wields Shining Blade. Okay. It's a pretty good deal. I think this one's going to be character specific though, so it's not just going to be sitting on one character all the time. Or it will be sitting on one character, but I haven't decided which character I'm going to stick it on yet, so. Oh, you can see right there. I didn't even think of looking at the preview. Didn't even think about it. Oh, even the handle changes. Wow. Wow, that really compacts down. Yeah, there's a little. I mean, yeah, there very much is some. If you look at the handle here, or if you look at the guard, or whatever it's. I don't know real weapons. I don't even. If you look at the size of it there compared to when it's attached to his hip, the model does indeed shrink down, but then there's additional animation where it's compacting down a little bit more. It's doing an accordion thing. That's cool. I like that. Okay. So that is the Shining Blade. Pretty sweet. Sweet. I wish I could be more enthusiastic for it, but it's that whole Mystic Coin and Mystic Clover thing really put me off the track. So I apologize if I'm not as enthusiastic in this one. Gosh darn it, it's Exordium all over again. Ah, the thrill of making a legendary is now gone. I should just stop farming for them altogether. Oh well. Once again, I feel like I'm forgetting to say something, but I can't remember. Okay. I think I'll call it here. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you very much for tuning in.